Hi Broadway Spotted, I'm Justine and this is my video application for your fall internship. So let's get started. Question 1. I am 24 years old and I live in a small town called Woodbury in New Jersey. And as far as school, I'm actually done, but I went to Fairleigh Dickinson University in North Jersey for theater arts. Question number 2 was really difficult, but I guess if I had to say 3 shows, I would go with Les Mis, American Idiot, and Newsies. All 3 of those shows require so much stamina, so much energy from their performers. Like, they're just ridiculous. Les Mis is one of these shows I've seen 100 times, and I can't get enough of it. I still go see it whenever I can, whenever there's a performance of it. And I saw American Idiot countless times, and Newsies is quickly becoming one of those shows. They just blow my mind every time I see them. Number 3. Why do I want to work in the theater industry? Well, ever since I can remember, theater has been the only thing I could see myself doing with my life. I never could see myself in one of those desk job, 9-to-5 jobs, and I think what really pulls me in about the theater is that the idea that there's a group of people coming into a building every night or day or whatever, and the actors on stage and the people behind the scenes are all putting on this production that has an effect on them. It makes them feel something. Sometimes it teaches a lesson. Sometimes it just helps people forget what their everyday lives are, and I want to be a part of that. Whether I'm on stage or behind the scenes helping with the costumes or anything, like, just all of it fascinates me, and I think it's just an amazing thing. It's just an amazing feeling to be involved in that. And as far as my ultimate goal is to be on one of those stages, to be having that effect on an audience. Number 4. What got you into the Broadway/theater? Well, I've been doing theater since I could walk and talk. Basically, when I started walking, my mom and grandmom got me into dance lessons, and I had singing lessons and all of this stuff, and I just constantly was doing something theatrical, and I always had to be the center of the attention. But I think what really got me into it was about 3rd grade, when my elementary school choir director/musical director kind of pulled my mom aside and was like, hey, why don't you get her involved in our local summer theater camp? And from then on, I just was constantly doing shows, constantly at rehearsal, running around, doing this and that, and I love it. I love constantly being involved in a project like that. Do I have any previous experience in the industry? Well, I've never had any, like, professional gigs or anything like that, but I have gone on a few professional auditions and open calls in the Philadelphia area for different, like, TV shows and things like that, and I've gotten called back numerous times and actually got casted in something small that unfortunately never got picked up, but that's the business, and you just kind of go with it. But it was a great experience to get to see how things run and to get to be put into the middle of that and to learn how an audition process works. What would make me a great intern for you? Well, I know a lot of people say that they're hardworking and dedicated and all of that, and I'm sure they are. I'm sure a lot of people are, but I know I am. And when it's something that I'm severely passionate about, I put 800% into what I'm doing. Can you really give 800%? Probably not, but I do. It's just, if it's something that I'm passionate about, I love just getting hands-on experience with it. And I think that as an intern, I would really make the best of it. I would love to have the opportunity to make those connections and to get to meet people, and I think I would represent you in a really, really good light, you know, because I always try to represent myself to the best of my abilities, and as an actress, I think I'm always trying to learn more about people and places and everything, and what better way than to get a chance to ask your favorite Broadway actor a couple questions, or to meet someone from the industry who works maybe in a different aspect of it, and I just think that that experience in itself would be an amazing one. And also, I'm a very creative person, so I think that I would be able to help a lot when it came to either refreshing ideas with articles on the website or coming up with new ideas or even just helping with the existing ones. I think that I would be a great asset to that. So I hope you choose me. Number 6, basic computer programs are not a problem. My laptop goes everywhere with me, and Microsoft Word, Excel, email. Was a college student, so we kind of had to know how to use all of those. As for more difficult programs, well, Photoshop, I mess around with Photoshop a little bit, you know, editing photos and doing things like that. I'm not a professional, not an expert at it, but I'm always checking out tutorials and trying new things, so it's definitely something that I'm familiar with, but I might not be amazing with, but constantly working on it anyway, trying to get up to expert level. 7, authority figures. I think I handle authority figures pretty well. I understand that, you know, there are people that I need to give my respect and attention to because obviously I'm not a genius. I don't know everything there is to know. And as far as authority figures go, I'm 100% willing to listen to someone, and if someone tells me, like somebody I know knows more than I do, tells me that I need to do something, I do it. I don't ask questions. I don't, unless there's a really abusive power going on, but if there's an abusive power, then I will say something, but 9 times out of 10, I'm very respectful and very easy to handle when it comes to authority figures. As far as taking constructive criticism well, I think I do that as well. It's not always easy, but being an acting student and then going through several acting classes, I've had to handle constructive criticism, and I've been told by a lot of people that I handle it very well, and I do try to take it into account, and, you know, people make mistakes. You don't have to be a jerk about it, and if you tell somebody, then there's nothing wrong with helping them make themselves better, right? So I always, if someone gives me constructive criticism, I try to take it in and think about it and see how it can help me in the future. Number 8, celebrities. I think I handle myself really well. I've been in a lot of situations where I've met Broadway actors, I've met musicians, like famous actors, like Hollywood actors, and I've held it together. I've held my own, and not saying I've never freaked out, but I tend to keep it in my head, or I tend to kind of wait until I'm by myself to have my little fangirl moments. So I think if I were to have to interview someone like Audra McDonald or any of that, I'd be able to. I'd be fine. I mean, celebrities are just people too, you know, and it's not about meeting them. It's about, you know, you can learn a lot from them, and I'm sure a lot of people reading would learn a lot more. It's not really about my experience meeting them. It's more about the questions and the interview itself. Number 9. How often do I see shows? Well, it's impossible for me to not see shows on a regular basis because I have a lot of my friends are theater people, and we're all constantly involved in regional productions. So I'm always going to see regional productions, and as far as actually going into the city, I live within a reasonable commuting distance from the city, so it's not hard for me to hop on a train and go in and see a Broadway show and get tickets at the TKTS booth or doing like the standing room only or any of that. So I'm lucky enough that I can see shows on a regular basis, both regionally and on Broadway. Number 10, favorite performers. That's really difficult too. Idina Menzel is amazing. I mean, I grew up seeing her in Rent and Wicked, and she's just phenomenal. And as far as newer, more current performers, Laura Osnes is probably my favorite woman on Broadway. She is so ridiculously good. I think I listen to the Bonnie and Clyde soundtrack at least once a day. I mean, the music in that show is phenomenal, so the show itself is kind of underrated. But her and Jeremy Jordan are like pretty much the best of the best to me right now. But I think I have a lot of favorite performers. I just have respect for performers in general, especially performers on Broadway, because to be able to hold up a show 8 times a week, you gotta have something. Number 11. Favorite thing about BroadwaySpotted.com. I loved when you did the Broadway Hunger Games. I thought that was amazing. I was following that every step of the way. And also, I really enjoy the Oops column. I check that out whenever there's a new posting. I actually started following you a long time ago. I think I started following you shortly after American Idiot got on its feet on Broadway, because I remember going to see Idiot in the City and tweeting something. There was like a scavenger hunt or something going on, and I was tweeting back and forth about that, because if I had been in the city earlier, I was going to help out. But yeah, so that was a long time ago, I think. So it's been cool to kind of see how the site has grown and evolved from there. A few minutes to tell you about myself. Well, as far as what I studied in school, like I said before, I studied theater arts with a concentration in acting. But while I was at college and even through high school, because I went to performing arts school, I made sure to take a lot of classes and get a lot of opportunities in different aspects of the theater, because, like I said before, everything about theater, every aspect of it really fascinates me. So I took classes in playwriting, directing, scene design, costume design, all of it. It's just a lot of fun for me. Something else that's pretty cool, at least I think is pretty cool, is that earlier this year, some friends and I decided that we wanted to start our own theater company. So we've kind of been working really hard on that and going through all of the research process and figuring out all of the legalities and how to do it. And the whole point of us starting it was because we wanted to give kids in our area an opportunity to learn more about theater than just, oh, let's put on this little children's production of 101 Dalmatians or Seussical or something. So we wanted to give them that chance to learn different things, like if they didn't go to a performing arts high school or if they didn't go to college or any of that. And in April, we actually put up our first production to kind of get our name out there, and it was crazy. It was a lot of work. It was really hard, you know. Everything was on us, finding the venue, picking the costumes, rehearsal schedules, everything. And I think when it finally got time for the performance and going through everything and getting the audience feedback, it was very rewarding. It was great. It was just awesome to know that this was us and that we succeeded, no matter how many times people said we were crazy for trying to do it. What about me is totally boring? Well, I like to think I'm not a boring person. I like to think I'm actually pretty entertaining when you get me in that kind of a setting, but I guess if I had to say something was boring is just where I live, I guess. I have what I like to call Santa Fe syndrome, like the song from Newsies. I know he wants to get out and go to a small town and all that, but I want to get out of here. I would love to have the opportunity to move to the city or move somewhere different and just experience different things than what I've been experiencing for the past 24 years of my life. But all in good time. I'll get there one day. So, that's my video. This is my interview. Once again, my name is Justine, and thank you for taking the time to watch and for considering me for the internship. And fingers crossed, hope I hear from you soon. Alright? Thank you. Bye.